Welcome to Numb Bills Fan Podcast, episode 235. This is your fast Bills in Miami preview here. And I don't know if my intro music I wrote for you all is going to work right now. Hopefully it's under the background of this all eloquently. It's not an acoustic session of the intro song. It's a one guitar live, okay? Live from the amp. Today it's the Engel Fireball 100 through a Marshall Mode 4 cabinet and a Gibson SG with 3 pickups. Don't ask why. Little Guitar Center special, signature SG special for you guitar people out there. And it has a Seymour Duncan Invader, so it's like my little Doom guitar there. Anyways, so we're here. I'm your host, David Palermo. And yeah, it's been another rough season of podcasting for the Bills. As I put these standards on myself, as in, I don't have much to talk about besides the Bills got to get their shit together. I'm expecting this team to straight up wreck the Washington Foreskins, straight up wreck the Dolphins when they come to town. You know, I didn't know that Cincinnati win would be so hollow in hindsight. I frankly had a lot higher expectations for that team. So, for me, everybody's been reading everything. I imagine this podcast is more towards the advanced listener. Essentially, the coaches just got to get their crap together here. It's very simple. The coaches got to look at what do we rank well in, frankly, and excuse me. That's a serious, like your professor here. Okay, professor, not shredding. So. The Bills are actually really good at running the ball. They run the ball really well. They were averaging like 5 yards a carry for a bit. Now, with Josh Allen numbers, I've not looked at all the adjusted stuff. I have 0 notes on stats. Okay, this is more of a philosophical podcast that I hope lasts, and I can have you guys tell your friends to listen to, whether it has to do with the Dolphins or not. So the Bills are playing the Dolphins, and frankly, they got to handle their fucking business. All right. Again, I'm your host, David Palermo. This is a Numb Bills Fan Podcast, episode 235. Looking over the Dolphins real quick, brought to you by Punch Drunk Sports. Really stoked on that. Going to see Ari Shaffir film a new special down in New York City on February 8th. So if you know Ari Shaffir, follow him on Twitter and Instagram. He's part of Punch Drunk Sports there. You've seen him on Legion of Skanks. You've seen him on Kill Tony. Amazing comedian. And shout out to San Tripoli and the Tinfoil Hat podcast. Check that out. So also, the coaches got to do what's right, man. And frankly, why aren't you running the ball more, working more play action, doing things that you as a coach can do as a strength of your team? And frankly, what I do like is that Dable does come in and he goes, I don't give a fuck. We're throwing. It move on to the next play, move on to the next play, move on to the next play. Well, the problem is when you look at the game log on your Bills app, if you have it, there's not that many plays in football. So when you're like, hey, why did this guy see the ball? Why did this guy see the ball? Why did this guy see the ball? Where's this guy? And then you're just looking at these fucking stats and you realize, well, you have to look at context. And the best thing is you have to understand the radio, newspaper. I get sucked into it. Okay, it's turned into a clickbaity thing since its existence, okay? Essentially. Can you read this headline? Yeah, it's usually 9 out of 10 times it's a fucking fragment and then some stupid ass comments, okay? And an opinion, and then it drives the narrative. Well, when your media is controlled and you got even the Bills PR department out there doing a hell of a job, frankly. I mean, I would have loved for this Bills content like 8 years ago, 7 years ago, even 4 years ago, 5 years ago. But the problem is I don't like seeing the Twitter run by a fucking teenager and their social media. And then it's like the social media is talking about Josh Allen not being able to complete balls and they're like over 30 yards and they show John Brown on fucking air with Josh Allen throwing the ball at practice. Like, stop paying attention to the media. Go play fucking football and don't worry about it. Like, that's not on the players. The players don't make these videos. Okay, maybe just railing about nothing. But no, I'm sorry. Sean McDermott is all process. We call it work. I'm not saying it ain't a fun place, okay? But Buffalo's enough pressure to play in anyways, So, frankly, I'm over this whole, process thing. I'm with it. I get it. But, like, I've seen the process, and the process so far is passing on possibly 3 league MVPs. One, definitely in Mahomes. Actually, traded out of that spot. And, you could tell me the Bills should have got, like, Mac. They should have drafted Mac as in the background. No. They shouldn't have. Mario Williams was actually living up to his contract and playing awesome. So is Jerry Hughes. Okay, no, that's fucking stupid. So, no, wrong. And meanwhile, the Bills need a quarterback, and they grab Josh Allen, and they give away essentially 2 starters for him. Justin picks alone. Never mind Sammy Watkins, who could have taken a safety with them with Lamar Jackson. Never mind that. Oh, his foot. Don't fucking matter. We can't predict injuries. And if you're going to go that way and then back up to signing a Trent Murphy, then you got to pick a side here. And I'm sick of this shit. People got to draw a line in the sand on some of these issues and pick it. Oh, it's too much money. Wait, we put us in cap hell. No, that's the media department giving us something. They're going to give you something to talk about. Why do we talk about Josh Allen and Brian Dable? Because it keeps our eyes off of Oliver, first-round pick, not making first-round day one fucking impact that he should. And I'm not worried about it. He's a rookie. I don't give a fuck. But at the same time, what could you have done with that pick? Metcalf is doing all right? How's Josh Gordon doing? No, not good enough for the Bills. You're going to kick the tires on Kaepernick? Fuck no. Kaepernick would never play for Buffalo. You look into that, that's all part of a collusion thing from the NFL. They're fucking doing him dirty. Okay? So, point being is the coaches got to control what they can control. And this team is geared up to win. The roster's already showing it. Look what they did against the Jets. Look at Cincinnati. They barely beat them. I'm like, I don't know what to think. They barely beat the Titans. They barely beat, excuse me, the Forskins. I mean, they won by a lot, point-wise, okay? But this should be pure domination. These teams execute a simple offense. And again, at the end of the day, when you look at the Bills app, you don't have that many drives, okay? You don't have that much going on. So, what I'm looking to see from this team here is I'm looking to see an absolute just domination. I want you to come in, do your job. The defense is really good against the pass, and they're really bad against the run. At least since the bye week, they've been horrible against the run. If the Dolphins have a good running day today without their number one running back, I'm gonna like flip a table. I'm ready to flip a table half the season because of this bubble. If the Bills lose today, the crack in me will be alive. Okay, I thought this podcast would be more like a positive thing, where I know my shtick has been mentioned every podcast here, but new listeners, and frankly, the Bills department's done a great job putting out quote-unquote positive content and things to look forward to, and so is cover1.net and a lot of people, but there's other accounts like on Twitter that throw up these screen grabs, and man, how does Myles Garrett even get to Josh Allen? Well, not for nothing, these receivers are already downfield waving their arms, signed Pat DeMarco, to throw it to said tight end in the back of the end zone, and the throw is too late because the quarterback doesn't get it, and it comes down to coaching. And I think they made a big misstep, not really calculating how much time it's going to take to develop this kid, and you need everything in place, and the fans just see 11 games last year under what I thought was bad tutelage, which I called on draft day. And here we fucking are, okay? And now is it Josh? Is it Brian Dable? Dude, it's the coaches. The Bills have shown they can come back for 17 points against a almost mono-led fucking Jets, and the Jets are not nearly as bad as he thought. The Dolphins are not nearly as bad as he thought. And the Bills are not nearly as good as he thought. And anybody questioning it is getting shamed on Twitter worse than I've ever seen. And it kind of sucks. It makes me not want to podcast, and I realize it's not about fucking Twitter fans. It's about calling it how it is. So here it is. Bills need to run the ball. They need to run play action and work off that. Hit the easy ones. You will pop a deep one off play action. Come on, man. That's football 101. They have way too many single high safeties. They're telling Josh Allen, throw deep. A lot of man coverage. Okay, Cole Beasley gets open on everybody. What the fuck? And the only time Josh really gets rid of the ball lately is in between the zones. And then he's going on the media saying they had to drag it out of him. Well, maybe I'm overthinking my deep ball. I don't want to. Oh, okay, that's coaching. He's ruined. Right now, the coaches need to fucking figure out this misstep. And I'm down to grow. And the Bills are 6-3 with time to figure it the fuck out. This is awesome. We've never been here as a Bills fan. But I want to see guys like Shaq Lawson on the fucking field more. Jordan Phillips, love that he's getting playing time. But some of that run stuff has been a little bit tough. But he's got some sacks. But the team, I think the front seven, they are not gap sound like where they should be. What I mean by that is I'm busy picking on Sarlatule and he's getting pushed out of play because all we're doing is looking at the one thing. And then guys who actually like know the game of football are like, yo, he's got to stay. Everybody else behind him needs to stay in their gap. And it's like, oh, that's right. Because pretty much if you're playing Madden, you're clogging all the holes. Okay, it's pretty simple. So in between your guard and your tackle on the offensive line, you want to put a guy there. All right, and just multiply that down the line. And it's just to me, I think these players are overwhelmed. I think they got to simplify the fucking playbook. The defense is fine. I'm amazed they don't get too tired, frankly. But I want to see Shaq Lawson crush it more and get out there. So, look at. I don't know what's going to happen with this game. It's going to be a dumpster fire if the Bills lose. It's going to be the best radio you've ever heard in your life. Here, I'll be having some fun. I can't wait to podcast and get back to my live. I've been crushing it on Twitter. I gotta admit. Whenever I'm taking a dump, I'm looking at Twitter. Then I like to plant some seeds, and then I like to see like double digits in my app mentions. It makes me really feel special and important. So thank you for the attention. Appreciate you all. Yeah, I don't know, man. This team, they should beat the Dolphins. They should beat the Dolphins. It's hands down. This is more of a coaching philosophy podcast. I don't have any solutions besides recognize who you are. The Bills are having an identity crisis. I feel like they're trying to make Josh Allen something he isn't. And his number one attribute, really unfortunately, as I've been railing on it, is running the ball. And I'm railing on it because the Bills pass on Mahomes, the Bills pass on Watson. The Bills are not Lamar Jackson's not even a fucking option. And they could have had two other players with Lamar Jackson that year. You know what I mean? Just it's hard to sit here and watch this because you call it out. You want to be positive. You want to and I frankly don't remember the last time I was ever really stoked on a first round draft pick from the Bills. Anyways, I mean I love corners, but it's getting ridiculous. So, anyways, coaches got control to control. Run the fucking goddamn ball. It's that simple. Run the ball. Work your play action. And beat your man coverage. Get your one-on-ones. Josh Allen's internal clock needs to step the fuck up. The defense figures it out, but then again, who have they really played? You know, the Eagles are a respectable team, and they punch them in the face. The Browns have a lot of talent, and they punch them in the face. Anybody saying the Browns, that the Bills have as much talent as the Browns, you're fucking stupid. Just don't even talk to me. Okay, this podcast is over. Bills got to come out with it. Bills are favorite. I believe the number one up to 6.5. Respect your Vegas odds makers. For some reason, they know, and I feel like it's gonna be a Bills win. Honestly, after looking at the spread, I don't know what this team is really good at right now, and if I don't know, the coaches don't know. I'll tell you that. Leslie Frazier doing a wonderful job. The punter did okay. You know, he had his best game last week. He's improving, but again, it's taken 3 years to develop a fucking punter. We're having a goddamn fucking field goal kicker who's the highest paid or some shit like that, high salary cap hit or something, cap hit, and he can't make a fucking kick. You know what I mean? And so then who's it following? The punter not holding it right? I don't fucking know, but whatever this process is, I feel like it's written down and very rigid to it, and it's not working. This is not a consistent football team. Just getting to the playoffs is not good enough for me. I'm not a fucking loser, okay? I want to get punched in the mouth, and I want to punch in the mouth. That's it. Like, this is a fucking dogfight, and that's how football's supposed to be, right? It's a gridiron sport. Like, oh, get to the play. No, championships, motherfucker. Championships. And right now, if the Bills can't get out of their own way and recognize what their strengths are, it's ridiculous. Because you look on the defensive Pro Football Reference rankings, and it's all single digits, dude. But I will say that the Bills are so good against the pass. It's incredible. And it reminds me of like the classic Patriots teams where like their defensive stats are lopsided. And it doesn't matter. Like the Patriots defense is ranked crappy, but they've won a lot over the years, and it's all about the timing. It's all about context, I should say. Remember context and coaching philosophy and all this stuff next time. Control what you can control, identity crisis, and context. That's what we're going to leave here with. Write that down. Identity, like thrice. Crisis. Yeah. So there we go. Numb Bills Fan Podcast. Thank you. I'm your host, David Palermo, brought to you by Punch Drunk Sports Podcast and punchdrunksports.com. Check them out. And all right, take care. Follow me, David J. Palermo, on Twitter, Instagram for my personal stuff, more music crap, and dumb pictures. And then, so Numb Bills Fan everywhere, and tune in to Instagram Live. See it.